Gauranga. Oh, thank you. Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Gopi Nanabalaba Girivardhagute Gopi Nanabalaba Girivardhagute Yasodanandana Brajajana Randana Yasodanandana Brajajana Randana Jamuna Ravana Chare Yamuna Ravana Chare Jayaranu Madhuva Kunda Bihari Jayaranu Madhuva Kunda Bihari Gopijana Balaba Girivardhagute Gopijana Balaba Girivardhagute Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachante Yamuna Tira Banachante Jairanho Madhuva Kunda Bihari Jayarada Madhuva Kunda Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravidgacharya, also Teta Satashi Shimad, His Divine Grace Sabaya Chalana Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrednikajai Namacharya Shilahira Stakuru Gajai Premse Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shitwaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Gajai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Sai Mukunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Kijai Vrindavanam Kijai Macharadam Kijai Jagadava Sami Kijai Yamuna Mai Kijai Shimadi Lasi Devi Kijai Samafeda Bhakta Vrinda Kijai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shilapad Kijai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Budale. Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Amani Namaste Saraswati Devi. Gauravani Pacharni Nivasesa Shunyavadi. Paschatya Deja Tarni. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 50th chapter, texts 5 to 6. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right. Niriksha Tad Valam Krishna Udvelam Iva Sagaram Sapuram Tena Samrudang Swajanang Cha Vayakulam. So we're just going to do the first verse responsively. Nirikshatad Balhang Krishna Udvelam Ivasagaram Swaparam Tena Sangrudang Swajanang Chavayakulam Nirikshatad Balang Krishna Utvelam Ivasagaram Swaparam Tena Sangrudang Swajanam Chavayakulam Nirikshatad Balang Krishna Udvelam Iva Sagaram Swaparang Tena Sangrudhang Swajanang Chavayakulam. Okay. Okay, I'll just read the next verse and then we'll do the word by word synonyms. Chintayam asa bhagavan odikaranna manusha todesha kala nugunam swavatara prayojanam. Okay. Niriksha, observing. Tat, of him, Jarasandha. Palam, the military force. Krishna, Lord Krishna. Utvelam, having overflowed its boundaries. Iva, like. Sagaram, an ocean. Swa, his own. Puram, city. Mathura, Mathura. Jena, by it. Sangrudam, besieged. Janam, oh, I didn't see that here. That's right. Swajanam, his subjects. Cha, and. Maya, by fear. Akulam, disturbed. Chintayam asa, he thought. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Huri, Lord Huri. Karana, the cause of everything. Manusha, appearing as a human being. Tat, for that. Desha, place. Kala, and time. Anugunam, suitable. Swavatara, of his descent to this world. Prayojanam, the purpose. Translation: although Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the original cause of this world, when he descended to the earth, he played the role of a human being. Thus, when he saw Jarasandha's assembled armies surrounding his city like a great ocean overflowing its shores, and when he saw how this army was striking fear into his subjects, the Lord considered what his suitable response should be according to the time, place, and specific purpose of his current incarnation. Please repeat. Although Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the original cause of this world, when he descended to the earth, he played the role of a human being. Thus, when he saw Jarasandha's assembled army surrounding his city like a great ocean overflowing its shores, and when he saw how this army was striking fear into his subjects, the Lord considered what his suitable response should be according to the time, place, and specific purpose of his current incarnation. So, purport by the followers of his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. The Acharyas point out that the Supreme Godhead did not have to worry about a mortal attack from Jarasandha and his soldiers. But as stated here, Sri Krishna was playing the part of a human being. Karana Manusha means the cause that he was a human being, or playing the part of a human being. And he played the part well. This play is called Leela, the Lord's enactment of spiritual pastimes for the pleasure of his devotees. Although ordinary persons may be dumbfounded by the Lord's pastimes, the devotees derive tremendous pleasure from his inimitable style of behavior. That means behavior that you cannot imitate. Or wonderful. Thus, Srila Sridhara Swami points out that Sri Krishna thought as follows: how should I defeat Jarasandha? Should I kill the army but not Jarasandha? Or should I kill Jarasandha and take the army for myself? Or perhaps I should just kill both of them. Lord Krishna's conclusion is described in the following verses. So, Omagana Timiranda Shah, Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur, Unminitam Yena Tasmai Shigaruin Maha. So this Leela that the Lord is enacting is actually a continuing Leela that the Lord performs with many of the same personalities, even the same personalities who are inimical to him, like Jarasandha. And one may question, why is this Jarasandha so angry at the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Well, Krishna arranged that he got angry, and Krishna not only arranged that he was angry in this birth, but Krishna arranged that he was angry in the past, and Krishna arranged that he joined the Daityas and Danavas. So his history is quite interesting. So here is his history, at least from previous birth, that he was the son of Danu, Kashyapa and Danu. Of course, Kashyapa has some very interesting wives. He has Dana, Aditi, Aditi, and some of his wives gave birth to the demigods, some of them gave birth to the demons, and some to the Danavas. So he's a Danava. And he wasn't so inimical to the Supreme Personality of Godhead until his brother got killed by Indra. And then he just became extremely inimical. Of course, we see the same thing happening with the case where Hiranyakashipu's brother, Hiranyaksha, was killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Hiranyakashipu got angrier and angrier and angrier. So he joined the force of the Danavas and the Daityas against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see this really ferocious fight between the Danavas and Daityas and the Adityas, that is the demigods. And finally, the Danavas and the Daityas, they actually are all killed, either by the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Supreme Personality of Godhead's devotees. So this is a multi-life animosity. And of course, we do know that one carries the conceptions of life from one body to another, as Krishna describes in the Gita, that like the air carries aromas, one's mental body, subtle body, carries one's desires from one lifetime to another, whether it's a devotional desire, whether it's a lusty desire, whether it's a desire to be in a particular place, or whether it's a demoniac desire. So he's a demon from the past. So, as it's described in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, because the demons were defeated, they actually wanted to take birth on earth and weaken the Supreme Personality of God. This was their whole strategy. So their concept, the reason Jarasandha is attacking Krishna at this point, because he thinks he's really weak. And why does he think he's weak? Because previously the demons, before Krishna came to this world, the demons were actually going around and killing the sages. And how do they kill the sages? It's interesting. It's described in the Mahabharata. Many of them took the form of beasts. So these sages would be meditating in the forest, just minding their own sage business. And these beasts, like these 8-legged beasts, some of them describe it as 8-legged or whatever. They would come and eat the sages. And so they were thinking, if the sages all die, demigods will die because they won't have any, food, no offerings. And Vishnu is dependent. This is the conception of the demons. That Lord Vishnu is actually dependent on our offerings. I mean, just like we're offering to Krishna every day on the altar, hopefully, or several times a day, 5 times a day. And we're thinking, of course, a pure devotee may be thinking like that if I don't feed Krishna properly, he'll starve. So you see that pure devotees and the demons, they actually think similarly in this regard. Because that's Leela, that's Yoga Maya that the pure devotees are thinking. Just like Krishna, as described here, has his Yoga Maya. He appears to be bewildered. What am I going to do about the situation? He's indecisive at this particular point. Should I do this? Should I do that? And so the devotees, sometimes they are taking care of the deities. And actually, it's a good mood. It's like Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda is also thinking the same way. If I don't feed Krishna, Krishna's walking out there in the pasturing grounds. He's not wearing any shoes. The reason he's not wearing any shoes is because the cows don't wear shoes. So he refuses to put shoes on. It's not that she wouldn't provide shoes for Krishna. Not that they were poor. They were very rich. So there's that concern, seeing Krishna as an ordinary person. So both the pure devotees and the demons see Krishna as an ordinary person, which is interesting. Of course, sometimes the pure devotees, they step down from their Mahabhagavad situation for preaching, and then they have to get into the philosophy. But otherwise, it's a similar, isn't it? Similar. So the demons are thinking that if we don't feed Krishna, then he's going to starve to death. Or don't feed Vishnu. And he's going to become very weak, and we're going to be able to kill him. So they have this whole plan. They come down, and they're just killing all the sages. Same time, Indra knows what's happening, because Indra is more concerned with his own food, because the demigods are concerned with the food they get. Like Krishna's not concerned. Whether I'm offered or not offered, I'm not going to starve to death. Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrahma Sevimanam Govindam Adipurusha, isn't it? He has all these nice Lakshmis cooking for him. What is he going to need? Some guy in the kitchen to come in cooking on gas, in the Nugaloka kitchen. What does he need? So Krishna's not concerned, but the demigods are really concerned because they're generally they're Sakama devotees. So they're just like thinking, what am I going to eat? It's like a new devotee may be thinking. I remember when I joined the Hare Krishna movement, I was always thinking before the Sunday feast, what if there's too many guests? You ever have that consciousness in the beginning? And there won't be any glubjamins left over for me. I was in anxiety. So then even when the guests left over the glubjamins, I would go around their plates and pick off their glubjamins. Prasadam is never contaminated. Anyway, so there's so much anxiety about food. But when you grow up a little bit, hopefully you're not in anxiety about food anymore. That, whether it comes or doesn't come, Hare Krishna. So anyway, so the demigods, they made an arrangement. Indra, it's an interesting story. Indra had a friend, and he sent his friend down to sort of protect the sages. It's an interesting story in the Mahabharata. And actually, I've been listening to Rita Nandamar's rendition of the Mahabharata, which is really interesting. So his friend was this Upacharu Vasu, King Vasu. Everybody knows Vasu. Heard of Vasu before? And he not only sent him down to the earth planet to protect the sages from getting eaten by all the Rakshasas who had taken the form of beasts, he actually gave him it's described in the Mahabharata, a crystal airplane. And in this crystal airplane, he would fly around and just like kill all the Rakshasas who were attacking the sages. But the Rakshasas understood this, and they decided to take birth in his family. His family is really interesting in the Mahabharata because he had is Vasu. Uh, he hmm, his wife was named Girika. That's right. His wife was named Girika, and he had 5 sons. And the 5 sons were not demons. They were definitely not demons. Actually, not only did he have 5 sons, he had 5 sons and 1 daughter. And that daughter, of course, was the famous Satyavati. You've all heard of Satyavati? And so Satyavati had to, there's different versions in the Mahabharata that say different things. Uh, obviously, your devotees are most familiar with the version where Satyavati was born from a fish, and the fish was taken to a fisherman, and she became the fisherman's daughter, right? And there's another version that I was listening to where Vasu decided that his daughter was supposed to give birth to Srila Vyasadeva, great avatar incarnation. And so he understood the demons were going to try to kill his daughter because she was going to give birth to a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the other version that I heard is that he hid his daughter in a fishing village. He gave it to a fishing couple to adopt her, fishing couple to adopt. So either way, it was Krishna's arrangement that the girl would be hidden from the demons, because this girl later on, by the interaction, this is Satyavati, with the interaction of with Parashara Muni, gave birth to Srila Vyasadeva. And so that was really important. And the reason it was done secretly is so the demons, Jarasandha, who was the grandson of Vasu, could not attack Satyavati. It's interesting, just for her protection, this was done. So you understand why was Satyavati born in such a situation in a fishing village, because that was her protection. That's the inside story of the whole thing. So she had to be hidden. Anyway, so that's Jarasandha. So Jarasandha, and there's actually several versions of Jarasandha's birth. One is told by Srila Prabhupada, and that's actually from the Mahabharata and Bhagavatam, that Jarasandha, but actually they're all the same. That Jarasandha was born in 2 parts, and he was joined together by this witch or mystic yogini, Jara, and he was extremely, as we gave the background story, extremely angry at the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All right, so here he is in this particular verse, attacking the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Supreme, getting back to the purpose of this particular verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is actually bewildered. Now, you may say, why is he bewildered? Why does Yogamaya put him in such a situation, or why does he agree to be put under Yogamaya so that he appears to be bewildered? And the answer is, as mentioned in this particular purport, Leela. Of course, you can say Leela, but why Leela? It's not just it's a Leela. Every Leela has some esoteric purpose as well as some exoteric purpose. By exoteric means, apparently, what we can see, what everyone can understand. Esoteric means his own purposes. So the exoteric purpose of why Krishna appeared to be bewildered was several different things. To stir up the demons rather than kill Jarasandha right away, to stir up the demons and get them angrier, to create more drama in the pastime, and then also to bewilder those who are not inclined to worship the Supreme Personality of God, those who are atheistic. Krishna creates pastimes just to bewilder people who are not inclined towards devotional service. For example, the Moshe Leela pastime. right? Moshe Lila pastime is when Krishna left this world, and he was apparently shot in the foot by this hunter, Jara, and apparently, he leaves his body or whatever. He even leaves a body made of the material elements, which is like as an imitation or a copy of his body, so that the atheists become bewildered. Because Krishna is reciprocating with Yayatamam Prabhajante Tam Sataiva Bhajamiham. Krishna is reciprocating with people according to their desire. Another verse, Matak Smritir Gyanam Apovanam Cha. He's giving intelligence, remembrance, or creating faith. If one desires to have faith in a particular entity or deity, then Krishna gives that person faith, or Krishna gives the person faithlessness or trust in a particular path. It's interesting, like you see people nowadays, they have faith in so many materialistic leaders, and that faith is actually given by Krishna because of their desire. And also another exoteric purpose is to engage his devotees in service. So his esoteric purposes, esoteric is to enjoy. As we mentioned many times before, Krishna has all the desires, basically, not the bad desires, but, he has all the desires, the pure desires that are manifest in our heart, but they're manifest in a wonderful, pure way in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just like there's these indirect rasas, which we mentioned many, many times. Like sometimes we like to get angry. We enjoy getting angry. You go to football game. I don't go to football games. But we go to, not we, sorry. Someone may go. I got to be careful using the royal we. So someone may go to a football game and they really enjoy getting angry. I remember even when I was young, we played baseball. We called the other party all sorts of nasty names. Or even in Fiji, when we were opening up the temple, we were playing volleyball with all the devotees every afternoon, and we would call them names. You're useless, you're hopeless. So, it's sort of enjoyable to blaspheme devotees. So Krishna enjoys these indirect rasas. Even like bewilderment, anger, fear. Here Krishna's like bewildered. He's just wondering, what am I going to do, to protect all these citizens here? Krishna enjoys it, without emotions. Everything is just like really dry. That's called ritualistic. A ritualistic Brahmana, he's so dry, he could dry up and be blown away. So Krishna wants to have juice. And so that's really esoterically what's going on. Why Krishna arranged this fight between the demons and the devotees. And Krishna even arranges people to be demons. Like it's in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. When the demigods are ready to kill all the demons, what does Brahma do? He comes in and he says, hey, cool it, guys. Isn't it? It's really interesting. Why does he say cool it? Why don't you just get rid of all the creeps? Right? Because he's also helping arrange for Krishna's pastimes. So Krishna can enjoy the fighting between the demons and the devotees, and sometimes Krishna has his devotees come down to be demons. I mean, there's so many stories how Krishna really enjoys these things, and I noted a few down. Of course, one is that when Krishna kills the demons, he actually plays with them. The description given in the Bhagavatam about the story of Hiranyaksha and also Hiranyakashipu, the comparison is made sometimes like a cat playing with its prey. The cat, and I observed this when I was young, because we had cats, that the cat would catch a mouse and let him go deliberately. And the cat would just like pull back, let him go a little bit. And the cat was enjoying life like that. Well, not spiritually, but he was enjoying it. So in the same way, Krishna as Lord Varaha fighting Hiranyaksha, he let him go, and the demigods were all getting nervous. He's also entertaining the demigods. Krishna likes to have an audience. Like an actor on the stage likes to have an audience, and the audience is going, oh no. And sometimes. So Krishna has an ego. He likes it. Oh, Jai Krishna. Oh no, get him. The demons. They're actually getting more powerful. It's getting towards the evening. Pray, dispatch him. And so, so then Krishna says, okay. And then he pleases the demigods. And so many stories. I mean, like even, let's talk about the Ramayana. How Lakshman was hit by the Shakti Shila weapon that Indrajit fired. Right? And Lakshman was knocked unconscious, and everyone thought he was dead. And Lord Ramchandra just became completely depressed. He wasn't going to fight anymore. The Valmiki Ramayana describes. He just put down his weapons. He said, without Lakshman, without Lakshman, everything's useless. So here you have the Supreme Personality of Godhead going into a deep depression. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Why should God get depressed? No doctors, no antidepressant there. But anyway, so then he has to be assured, Hanuman goes and he brings the Mritu Sanjeevani. Lakshman comes back to life. And Ram is just like extremely happy, joyful. He gets out of his depression. Oh, my brother's come back, just like an ordinary person. It's really interesting. And he's thinking like that. He's not remembering I'm the Supreme Personality of God and, this is just a play. This is called method acting. Method acting. And children naturally do this, isn't it? When they get into different roles, play cops and robbers, and they actually think like that. So they naturally get into different roles. And so it's really fun. It's really fun to get into different roles, play different games like that. And so Krishna's just having fun. And then Krishna arranges sometimes interesting ways to kill demons. Like in the case of Kalyavana, he just runs away from him. Krishna's just playing like that. He could have killed Kalyavana. Of course, he didn't want to touch this low-class demon. Krishna just likes to fight with high-class demons. But anyway, so he just runs away from him. He runs into a cave, and there's Muchukunda there who's sleeping, and he's like some of the men in the ashram. You wake him up. I remember we had some people in the ashram, kept waking them up, then they locked the door, so I couldn't wake them up anymore. So Muchukunda, he wanted to sleep a long time because he'd just been fighting with the demigods, and Krishna understood that. Krishna takes, he allows Kalyavana to trail him into this cave, and Kalyavana thinks that Muchukunda is Krishna, and he kicks Muchukunda. Muchukunda kills him. So Krishna does killing in so many interesting ways. Krishna's just a fun Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then the final story, one other final story, is the story of Aghasura, where Krishna also is bewildered. Krishna experiences bewilderment, anger, depression. Any emotion that we have, Krishna experiences. It's nice, isn't it? You cannot think of an emotion. Even, lust, of course, that's spiritual, it's love. So lust is actually just like spoiled lust. It's like food that was left out too long and it became putrefied, like Prabhupada said. Prabhupada even said if you concentrate on Radha Krishna's pastimes and you're not qualified, you'll become putrefied rather than purified. So that's the point. Because when the pastimes come in touch with us and we're not qualified, we spoil them. Don't actually spoil the pastimes, but we spoil the understanding that one has of the pastimes. So anyway, so Krishna, and you cannot think of an emotion that we have that Krishna doesn't have, isn't it? It's quite interesting. And so then, then just one other story. The Aghasura demon, all the coward boys, they just march into the mouth of the Aghasura demon, in spite of him having like really bad breath. I mean, I can't think of why I would march into a cave even that smelled really bad, like fish. Isn't it? Like sometimes when I'm in India, sometimes we go to past the fish market. I can't stand it. So anyway, he has fishy smell. They march into the mouth, and basically they pass out and getting ready to be digested by Aghasura. And Krishna's just looking and said, what am I going to do? Then he realizes, oh, I'm God. I can take care of it. And then he goes in, because expands himself, chokes off Aghasura. Aghasura's soul comes out of the body and enters into Krishna after Krishna leaves the body of Aghasura. So there's so many of these pastimes like that, and this is what Leela is. So, on that happy note, we have one more minute. Any other questions or any questions or comments? Yes. Yeah. But Vishnu's goodness. Yeah, Vishnu's goodness, Brahma's passion. Yeah. Yeah, it takes care. Yeah, well, Brahma is passion. Passion would be and also, and creation, and also, maintain. Well, Vishnu is maintaining things, but Brahma actually told them to kill the demons before, and then, he arranges for it, but then he tells them to stop at a certain juncture, isn't it? Yeah, so because Brahma understands the Lord's pastimes too, that he's making arrangement for the Lord's pastimes. And like Brahma also has the power to, stop these demons from taking birth too. He's actually the boss, not the boss. Indra is like the administrative boss, but Brahma is actually the person in charge of the whole universe. And so he has a lot of power. But he's arranging for the Lord's pastimes as a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna's in his heart giving.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvanta
Sundarangam Kandar Agong Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Hari Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Namaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakale Kriya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Hari Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam
Jami. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Mutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Samini Kamine Srimate Samaniti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Machar Nevasesha Shunyavade Machachagade Sajarane Gauravani Machar Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaurabhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ramanityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaurabhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shiva Sade Gaurata Vrinda. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Shiva Sade Gaurata Vrinda. Shri Advaita Dada Shiva Sade Gaurata Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jaya Radha Govinda Dhrana Govinda Dhrade Jaya Radha Govinda Rana Govinda Ragate Nayarad, hey, Rade, Rade, Nayarade. Nayarade, Rade, Rade, Rade. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa